Good afternoon. Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sanjay Sharma. Yeah, I've been away for a while. So my name is Sanjay Sharma. I'm the Dean of the Grossman School of Business, and I'm delighted to welcome you all today to this endowed faculty investiture ceremony. Today we have the pleasure of recognizing and celebrating two outstanding faculty members, Dr. Felipe Massa and Dr. Dror Etzion, who will be invested as the Steven Grossman Chair of Entrepreneurship and the Steven Grossman Chair of Sustainable Business, respectively. I want to welcome Provost and Senior Vice President Academic, Patty Prelock, UVM Foundation President Monica DeLisa, members of the Grossman School of Business Board of Advisors, faculty, staff, students from the Grossman School of Business and across campus, and invited family and friends. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the donors who have established endowed faculty positions at the Grossman School of Business. And it's quite a list. David and Elizabeth Daigle, the Pizzagalli family, Steven Grossman, the Grossman Family Foundation, Steve Schlesinger, Don and Gabby McRae, and the late John Beckley. Today we honor and express our deep gratitude to Steven Grossman, UVM class of 1961, and the Grossman Family Foundation. Steven endowed the Steven Grossman Chair of Entrepreneurship in 2021, and the Grossman Family Foundation endowed the Steven Grossman Chair of Sustainable Business in 2013. So the Investiture is the second holder of the Chair in Sustainable Enterprise. Originally it was Dr. Stuart Hart. These gifts enable the Grossman School of Business students to learn from outstanding scholars whose research will enhance the school's academic reputation in the fields of entrepreneurship and sustainable business. The holders of these chairs will influence hundreds of lives through their teaching, research, mentoring, and community outreach. Some background about our generous benefactor, Steven Grossman. Steven graduated from UVM with a BS in Manufacturing and Management Engineering in 1961. Now, this is a degree that doesn't exist anymore, but it's a mix of engineering and business, and I think Jim Keller had a similar type of a degree. He joined his family business, Southern Container Corporation, and led it to become the largest independent corrugated box manufacturer in the country before selling it in 2008. Upon the sale of Southern Container, Steven established the Grossman Family Foundation, which in 2013 made a historic $25 million gift to support the business school. And UVM honored this gift by naming the business school the Grossman School of Business. The gift has enabled continuous excellence and has enhanced the quality of the school's undergraduate program nationally and internationally, and one of the top schools for entrepreneurship, family business, and sustainable business. The school's Sustainable Innovation MBA program, which has just accepted its 10th cohort, has been ranked as the top accredited green MBA program nationally for the past several years, and one of the top 10 internationally for the past several years, both in prestigious rankings. In January 2020, when the first positive impact ratings were released at the World Economic Forum at Davos in Switzerland, the Grossman School of Business was ranked amongst the top 9 schools internationally, and one of the only 3 in the US as having the highest positive societal impact. In 2021, in recognition of the school's stature as one of the nation's most distinguished business schools in the area of entrepreneurship, family business, and sustainability, Steven Grossman made a second $25 million commitment, which included a second Steven Grossman Chair of Entrepreneurship and a second chair in the school dedicated to family business as the Grossman Chair of Family Business. Besides providing generous financial support, Steven Grossman has served as a volunteer for UVM, most notably as the founding member of the UVM Foundation Board of Directors from 2012 to 2018. So appointment to an endowed position is among the highest academic honors the University of Vermont can bestow on a faculty member, allowing the university to recognize and celebrate academic achievement and to further support scholarly and pedagogical excellence. Endowed professorships and chairs are important in recruiting and retaining the most creative researchers and the most effective teachers. Exceptional faculty members like Dr. Massa and Dr. Etzion in turn create a dynamic and engaging environment that attracts outstanding students and peers. On behalf of the Grossman School of Business and the entire university, we are tremendously grateful for these gifts. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the Provost and Senior Vice President Academic of UVM, Patty Prelock, to offer her thoughts. Please join me in welcoming her.
Thank you, Dean Sharma. It's so great to be here with all of you, and this is always a special event when we can honor two amazing faculty. And thank you to all family and friends to support our outstanding faculty members here and to celebrate the remarkable vision and generosity of Steven Grossman. I've always appreciated Steven's push to help us think bigger while not compromising the quality or relevance of our academic programming. Although he's unable to be with us today, I want to thank you, Steven, for your questions, your expectations that we can always find a way to move the needle toward excellence, and for the legacy that you have left in the Grossman School of Business, helping Dean Sharma and his faculty transform the business school, as you just heard with all the accolades from Dean Sharma, and really putting us on the map for our commitment to sustainable business, family business, and entrepreneurship. I've appreciated getting to know Steven and learning from him so that we can move the needle not just in the Grossman School of Business, but also the entire university. So as UVM's Provost and Senior Vice President, it's my great privilege to take part in this academic tradition to recognize Professor Massa and Professor Etzion for their exceptional scholarship, teaching, and service that makes you so deeply deserving as an endowed chair at the University of Vermont. And this means you have to keep doing that. I'm also pleased to welcome each of you to our UVM community. Our faculty members are really at the heart of everything we do here at UVM, and we all look forward to seeing the many ways that we know both of you are going to contribute to educating our students and creating new knowledge that helps our society and our environment flourish. UVM's land-grant mission has as its core a social contract, and that is a commitment to our students, our faculty, and staff that we will work to strengthen the communities in Vermont and beyond. The Grossman School of Business investment in developing the next generation of business leaders is among the most important and visible ways that the UVM, our campus, our institution, really fulfills that contract and advances its mission of service. Outstanding faculty members like Professor Etzion and Professor Massa are absolutely vital to this work, which is why this philanthropic support from Mr. Steven Grossman is so important, and these investitures are so critical. Appointment to an endowed chair, as Dean Sharma mentioned, is among the highest honors at this university. It's the highest recognition that we can provide to our faculty. Endowed chairs allow the university to be recognized and celebrate our exceptional academic achievement and to encourage further scholarly and activity and service excellence. They also are positions that are a tribute to the holder and the permanent legacies for the donors who established them. Named chairs and professorships help to ensure the quality and strength of our faculty for generations to come. and permanently reflect the passions and hopes of the donors who establish and support them. It is a special treat today to witness such a legacy at work. The establishment of the Grossman Chair of Sustainable Business allowed us to recruit Professor Stuart Hart in 2013, and today has made possible the hiring of Professor Etzion as the new holder of the endowed chair. It's humbling to contemplate that this pattern will continue for decades to come, and to contemplate the thousands of students who are going to benefit from their connection with you, as they have from Professor Hart. So we see clearly how endowed professorships and chairs are key to recruiting and retaining the most creative thinkers and the most dedicated researchers and the most effective teachers. Exceptional faculty members like Professor Massa and Professor Etzion in turn create a stimulating and dynamic environment that's academic and attracts outstanding students. Students who are really eager to make a difference in the world from the day they arrive here. Steven Grossman appreciates the special power of endowed faculty positions, perhaps more than any other donor in UVM history. Since 2013, he and the Grossman Family Foundation have endowed 5 chairs in the Grossman School of Business and helped endow a 6th. Each of these positions have provided the school with an exceptional thought leader and mentor in sustainable business, finance, entrepreneurship, and family business. I cannot overstate how valuable these chairs are, and the people who hold them, and I know each one of them, and they have contributed in significant ways to our institution, really elevating our reputation, providing our students with life-changing experiences. So thank you to all of our endowed chairholders. Stephen, I know you can't be with us, but where you have had an opportunity to watch this, I want you to know, on behalf of President Garamella, the entire university community, and generations of students to come, thank you for your visionary and historic support of UVM. Across the university, in every college, in every department, our faculty, our staff, our students are learning, researching, and innovating to support healthy societies and a healthy environment. These are key components of amplifying our impact, the strategic vision that really guides our work by weaving together 3 core components: ensuring that our students are successful, investing in the distinctive research strengths of our university, and fulfilling our university's land grant mission. As Provost, I can assure that I will do everything I can to increase support for faculty members like Professor Etzion and Professor Massa, and for the Grossman School of Business, and for every facet of discovery, teaching, and engagement at this remarkable university. So, to Professor Massa, Professor Etzion, I am so happy to welcome you to UVM and to our growing ranks of endowed professors and chairs, and I look forward to celebrating your successes here today and for many years to come. No pressure, but I'm going to be seeing lots of action, I'm sure. Thank you. Congratulations.
And once again, thank you everyone for being here today to show your support for these outstanding members of our faculty and to celebrate the vision and generosity of Steven Grossman and the Grossman Family Foundation. World-class business schools are built on the foundations of top-notch faculty who are renowned for their research and thought leadership, innovative and distinctive programs that are academically rigorous with the substantial experiential components and are relevant for society, and engaged students who strive for excellence. These 3 elements reinforce each other in a virtuous cycle. The gifts from Steven Grossman and the Grossman Family Foundation are foundational in this virtuous cycle by enabling us to bring in 2 new faculty members who add greatly to the depth of our thought leadership and elevate our global reputation. It is my great privilege to take part in this academic tradition and to recognize Dr. Massa and Dr. Etzion for their exceptional scholarship, teaching, and service to UVM. And as Betty said, we'll be watching, so no pressure. We will now present Dr. Felipe Massa with a medallion that marks this occasion and signifies his status as the holder of the endowed faculty position. We hope you will wear it with your academic regalia at commencement and other official university functions. Dr. Massa, please join me on stage, and please will you prepare to receive this medallion. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit before I give you the medallion. Dr. Felipe Massa embodies the Grossman School of Business's passion to help build better organizations and a better society. And we are proud to count him amongst our faculty. He is a quintessential teacher and scholar whose research and scholarship inform and enrich his teaching and scholarship and mentorship. Dr. Massa is an outstanding scholar and teacher. His work brings great distinction to the Grossman School of Business at the University of Vermont. Dr. Massa, as the inaugural holder of the school's second Grossman Chair of Entrepreneurship, this doesn't mean that he's replacing someone, it's just that we have two chairs of entrepreneurship. Eric Monson is the first chair. I don't know if you're the first, he's the second, or you're, 1.0. We honor you today with this medallion. May it serve as an enduring symbol of the excellence that you strive to achieve in all aspects of your professional life. Congratulations, Dr. Massa. Would you like to share some reflections?
Let's do it.
Yeah, please.
All right. Okay, let me take this in a little bit. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Provost, Dean. I'm really humbled and grateful for the opportunity to be here. It's, in fact, I have a lot of gratitude to express, so I hope you guys bear with me. I have a few people that I want to thank first. I'll start with Steven Grossman, although he's been thanked a lot. I think it's an important thing that he does. His generosity and years of work transforming Southern Container from a relatively small company into a large one, and the work of the hundreds of employees of Southern Container that he hired and managed, and all of that are very much in my mind today, just thinking about being at the end of that legacy and in continuing the legacy of somebody who's worked so hard to create so much wealth for so many people. So thank you, Mr. Grossman, for thinking decades into the future, and for, changing the lives of so many people, including my own. So thank you. I'd also like to thank Dean Sharma, not only for hiring me, which I think is very important, and the faculty who are in my search committee. So thank you all for bringing me in and, letting me be a part of this UVM family, all of the other Grossman chairs who have been giving me advice and welcoming me, and all of the other faculty who are just lovely, lovely people. They're just not smart people, and they're just not teachers. They're everything. So thank you all for saying hi to me, for welcoming me into the office, and for making me a better teacher already. I also want to thank the staff at the Grossman School. You guys make me look competent even when I'm fumbling. So thank you all. And also the folks at UVM Innovations, at the Provost's office, and all of the other faculty working on entrepreneurship across campus. It's quite awesome to see all of the different work that's happening across campus and how the culture of the place has changed and become a place for entrepreneurship by entrepreneurs, by people doing work every day. So, when you do entrepreneurship and you're one of the few faculty doing entrepreneurship at an institution, you feel like you're going up against a mountain. And here, it feels like the mountain is built, like there are people making things greater every day. So it's very exciting. And to the students, there are a few of you here who, show up to events, who do all these things, and who learn with me, welcome me into the classroom, tell me about all the trends that I would otherwise have to download TikTok to find out about. So thank you to the students. You're the ones that make my life happy every day and teach me about what teaching is all about. So thank you. To my wife, Laura, sitting right there. She's an accomplished psychologist and a Ph.D. herself, and she understands me like no one else. It's pretty great to be married to another Ph.D. that just knows everything that I'm going through and who makes me take care of myself, not just of other people. So thank you, Laura. And finally, I want to say something about my mother, who passed away relatively recently. She was a single mom. She was an immigrant. She was an entrepreneur. She was a force of nature. And I imagine she would be sitting with you guys right now, beaming with pride, and that she would be worried about who else is minding the shop while we're all here. So thank you to my mom. So the path I've taken to get here today has not been a narrow one. I've worked several jobs since I moved to the US when I was 14 years old. I worked a lot of retail. I was a barback at the busiest TGI Fridays in the United States. I was an assistant private banker wearing a three-piece suit in the Miami Heat. I was a financial analyst at a software company that produced more stress than it produced software. I raised money for, launched, ran, and presided over the failure of my own company. And, and that's all before I even thought about becoming an academic. So it's been quite a wild ride for me, filled with twists and turns, and it was fun, it was scary, but the roller coaster was something pretty much of my own making. I often think about the students' lives nowadays, the lives they lead in this high pace, on fire, sort of broken world that we're living in. And, I may have had a wild ride, but I didn't have a pandemic. I didn't have climate anxiety. I didn't face the levels of increasing wealth inequality. And more to deal with on top of my own journey of self-discovery. These students are dealing with a lot. And so as I was struggling with what I was going to leave you with today, I thought it would be interesting and maybe appropriate to share a little bit about what I think can equip students to deal with uncertainty, which is part of the job of being an entrepreneurship professor. So entrepreneurship professors, and I'm sure Eric can attest to this, have a unique role. We, particularly when we work with students, we do more than teach people how to write a business plan, how to practice investor pitches, or how to start LLCs. We build skills that allow individuals, whether they're a business student or not, to create value by solving real problems. We teach people how to overcome resistance to change, to make facing Goliath and winning possible, or better yet, to avoid fighting Goliath altogether and picking better battles. We show the activist, the change maker, the challenger, the innovator, that change needs scaffolding, that persistence and preparation, not just luck and risk, are what can turn the insurmountable into the attainable. It is, I have no doubt, the best job at this university and any university. It's, a wonderful thing to do, I think, with your life. So I hope all of you become entrepreneurship professors. It's a great choice. So how do we empower these resilient students facing all of this uncertainty to be equipped and motivated to change things for the better? That's, I have two parts and a very incomplete answer so far, but I think part of the answer is the kind of research that we do. Most of the research that comes out of business schools is focused on large corporations that are trying to generate shareholder value. Less research is focused on family firms, startups, small businesses, and less research still is focused on the, I'll call them non-traditional governance approaches to creating change and creating a business. The employee-owned collaboratives, the non-hierarchical, decentralized firms. There is a lot for us to explore. So if we think about the problems that these students are facing, it's not enough to teach them to care about sustainability and to teach them to work within the system. It's also important to provide them with the tools so that they can evaluate and reevaluate the system from the ground up. And I think that's what entrepreneurship can do when it's at its best. So if our research focuses not just on what's already there, but on what could be, on the strange, odd, weird organizations that we see, then I think we can make real change that changes not just what we do as companies, but what companies are. Another answer is something that I think UVM is doing, which is to try to graduate as many entrepreneurially oriented people as possible across as many fields, as many majors. And just not any kind of entrepreneur, but the kind and compassionate entrepreneur that I think UVM is particularly suited to create. Imagine that we set our sights not only on loading students up with our theories and with the tools that they might use once they get out into the real world and hope that they one day become change agents. What if we make their life here a little more real, a little more impactful? And underclassmen could perform the high wire act of starting a business while they have our support, not when they leave. They could create something meaningful, even if it's not a business, while we can help them. And while we're around to say, this is a good idea, this is a bad idea, or I don't know if this is a good idea, maybe you should ask your customers. We celebrate their failures and we celebrate their resilience, but we are there. And make that part of their narrative and part of their identity. All students are entrepreneurs. Now imagine most of our students do that early and often enough in their college career. Fail, succeed, fail again, succeed again, so that it becomes the foundation of their education. And that we cap that experience with giving back to other businesses with the skills, and not just the toolkit, but the skills and experience that they earned by doing their own thing. With real Vermont businesses, something that really fulfills the land-grant mission of this university. So this is something that's been started here through the E-Club, through the Catamount Innovation Fund, through the work of faculty businesses at ARC. There are all these components out there already. It's a matter of including more people, more students, growing that, and making it all structured so that the scaffolding for change is there. So to conclude, I'm sorry for being a little long-winded. So many people in this room, the faculty, students, administrators have worked diligently to build something, a culture, an amazing culture of entrepreneurship. And I'm very proud to be a faculty member here. And I'm going to be your colleague and hopefully your friend with the annoying and difficult to implement ideas. And if you're not excited yet, I am going to be here to convince you to try on the mantle of entrepreneurship and see what it feels like. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Massa. Congratulations again. Grossman Chair in Entrepreneurship. Steven Grossman Chair in Entrepreneurship. We will now present Dr. Dror Etzion with a medallion that marks this occasion and signifies his status as the holder of an endowed faculty position. We hope you will wear it with your academic regalia at commencement and other official university functions. You see everyone else is, so this is expected. Dr. Etzion, will you please prepare to receive the medallion? So I'm just going to embarrass you, just like I embarrassed Felipe. Dr. Dror Etzion embodies the Grossman School of Business's passion to help build better organizations and a better society, and we are proud to count him among our faculty. He's a quintessential teacher, scholar whose research and scholarship inform and enrich his teaching and mentorship. Dr. Etzion is an outstanding scholar and teacher. His work brings great distinction to the Grossman School of Business at the University of Vermont. Dr. Etzion, as the second holder of the Grossman Chair of Sustainable Business, in this time he's a successor to someone who held it before, unlike the previous one where now we have two entrepreneurship chairs. So there is competition in entrepreneurship. We honor you today with this medallion. May it serve as an enduring symbol of the excellence that you strive to achieve in all aspects of your professional life. Congratulations. Would you like to share some reflections?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So it's honestly a great honor to be standing here today, and I can say with quite a lot of certainty that I've never had an honor like this before in my career. And you might ask, well, how can you state that with such certainty? And so I'm a social scientist, and I will give you an answer. I will give you actually an empirical, evidence-based answer to that question. And the answer is simply that I've never been asked to give a speech. I've given presentations. I've showcased the data and the analysis that I've collected. I've given many lectures, often with the crutch of a PowerPoint, but I have never to this day been asked to give a speech. So that is my rationale for why this is an honor that I've never had to this date. So to ease my way into this, I'd like to, and very humbly, reference President Obama and his speech upon receiving the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. I don't know about you, but I miss President Obama. And in his speech, you might remember that he was uncomfortable about receiving the prize so shortly after being elected, without really having accomplished much of substance yet. And he felt that he was, and here I quote, at the beginning and not the end of his labors on the world stage. At a smaller scale, of course, I feel the same way, seeing this chair as a contract for future work and not merely a recognition of prior accomplishment. And I was, this was made a bit more concrete, and the expectations were set out quite clearly by the Provost and the Dean, so I was not wrong, apparently, in this assumption. I'd like to briefly describe what this future work might look like, and basically my speech has three components: acknowledgement, commitment, and a plea. So in terms of acknowledgement, first and foremost, my gratitude goes out to Steven Grossman, who was endowed the chair. I am, of course, disappointed and sad that he wasn't able to be here today. I wish him, of course, a speedy recovery, and I do hope I'll have the opportunity to meet him in person very soon. As mentioned, I truly stand on the shoulders of a giant in the field of sustainable business, Stu Hart, who held this chair before me. I would not be here today if not for Dean Sharma, another of the pioneers in sustainable business research, who has, I think, remarkably and with a great deal of foresight made it the centerpiece of this school. And there are, I think, a little bit too many colleagues to name, both faculty and staff, that have open-heartedly welcomed me to the college and brought me into the fold. So I do see you, and I appreciate that you came out here today. And finally, a word of congratulations to my new friend Felipe, who is also being honored today. But speaking of acknowledgement, I also feel it necessary to mention several painful truths that lurk somewhat ominously as a backdrop to today's celebration. As the climate news site Grist wrote, this was the summer that reality caught up to climate fiction. People got third-degree burns from simply falling onto hot pavement in Arizona, filling up all the beds in Maricopa County's burn center. Off the coast of Florida, the ocean warmed to hot tub temperatures. More than 1,000 fires burned across Canada's forest, scorched 7 times the acreage that usually burns in a year. Smoke traveled south, smothered New York and other large cities on the East Coast. The fire in Maui killed approximately 100 people and was one of the deadliest in American history. The Great Vermont Flood caused 13 fatalities and over $2 billion in damages. All of that was just this summer and just North America. So these facts are uncomfortable to recite. I know from experience that they make audiences uncomfortable and some people start squirming. Climate anxiety is a pervasive, profound mental scourge that afflicts many of us. But I ask you to bear with me. I believe we do ourselves a disservice by looking away, by not acknowledging these things. Not just because we ignore these signs at our collective peril and the peril of our kids and grandkids, but because we forego an opportunity to find fulfillment and perhaps even redemption in the resolution. The Italian thinker Antonio Gramsci, some people might be familiar with that name, popularized the adage that our path in troubling times must be guided by pessimism of the intellect and optimism of the will. Pessimism of the intellect and optimism of the will. I take this to mean that we must recognize that climate change, in our case, is truly a tremendously hard problem to solve, that our human minds, in all their brilliance, struggle to set forth meaningful and effective solutions to this problem. But if we nurture the optimism in our will, our collective will, to strive for a just, safe, and healthy planet, we might, with luck, figure it out. The journalist Kylie Bentz puts it best when she invites us to seek solace in the clarity of action. Seek solace in the clarity of action. The recognition of both the intellect and the will, and putting them both in the service of action, epitomizes my commitment to you today in this investiture. I plan to use my intellect, which is what academics are known for. In other words, my training as a social scientist and my adherence to the scientific method, to draw insights, valid, reliable, tested truths about how to pursue sustainability in organizations and how not to. At the same time, I hope to keep my will unbowed. This is the way I personally combat my climate anxiety, by speaking, mentoring, advocating, and supporting. Several years ago, in an article with Joel Gemen, I beseeched business school professors to go public. You might like that metaphor or not. By that I mean, we meant to engage more meaningfully with people outside the ivory tower in the tradition of the public intellectuals of the 20th century. When it comes to climate solutions, so many of them will come from new business models, new forms of organizing, new ways of collaborating, new ways of thinking, and we scholars can and should contribute to this larger discourse. I view this as an important responsibility and will make it central to my role as the Steven Grossman Endowed Chair in Sustainable Business. I'll end with a plea for help. Seth Klein, the Canadian activist, has shared the message with which he welcomes people to his organization, the Climate Emergency Unit. He says to them with brutal honesty, and again I quote, "The path to victory is very narrow. We're probably going to lose. But what else can we do but give it our best shot in the company of other good people?" End quote. I understand this to mean that a journey that is unbearable alone might, just might, be made possible with the help of others. So I seek this help from all of you in the audience, but perhaps most of all from our students. I'm acutely aware that we are bequeathing upon the students a world that is fast becoming nearly uninhabitable. So in this situation, to ask anything of you is to add insult to injury. But I can't help myself because I've seen myself personally the unflagging commitment, the moral certitude, the enthusiasm of students confronting head-on with grace and dignity the challenges and opportunities of our time. I am always in awe. It's been said that youth is the ultimate source of renewable energy in the world, and I hope you will allow me to draw upon this source of power in my new role. Thank you for coming out to celebrate this special day with me.
Thank you for your words, Dr. Etzion, and congratulations again. At UVM, it is customary for our newly invested faculty members to present the donor whose generosity has brought us here today with his own copy of the Investiture medallion. Since Mr. Steven Grossman was unable to join us at the ceremony, we will send replicas to him. I want to once again express our gratitude to Steven Grossman and the Grossman Family Foundation for their far-sighted vision and generosity. We all take pride every day in the important teaching, scholarship, and outreach that our faculty members carry out each day. Much of their work is enriched by the support of the university's donors and supporters, including many people here with us. This concludes our program. Thank you for attending this special ceremony to honor Dr. Massa and Dr. Etzion. So there are two housekeeping requests here. All the endowed chairs who are sitting out here along with Provost Prelock, would you please go through, when we conclude, go through those doors at the back, and Andy Dubeck is there to guide you somewhere where he's going to take fabulous pictures. So Andy is right there. And for everybody, please join us for a reception in the Wormser atrium in Efshin Hall. Our honorees will be joining the reception shortly after the photographs. So thank you everyone for coming, and thanks again, and congratulations to our investees.